Hi everyone, and welcome to the LittleBee Knitting, Spinning and Crochet podcast. We are now on to episode 13, which is really good, but if you're superstitious, maybe not so good. My name's Kirsty and I am LittleBee podcast pretty much. I'll get out of the way where you can find me first. So I am on Ravelry as Little-Bee. There's a cat in my room. Or things have fallen, I'm not quite sure. So on Ravelry as Little-Bee, there is the LittleBee podcast forum or group, whatever you really want to call it, and literally is just LittleBee podcast. Jump on there, jump into some of the threads that we have going on. I started one recently actually, in and around my crafting world. It's just pictures of like where you are, what you're doing. It could be in your living room, it can be out on the street, it can be of a view really close to you. So I started it off with a picture from Loch Lomond, which is around 30 to 45 minute drive from my house, which is really nice. Sorry, that's my mobile. And you can also find me on Instagram as LittleBee Kirsty. So jump on any of those, come say hi. And you're watching this on YouTube, so you know where to find me on YouTube. So to start things off, I really want to say a huge thank you to everyone for their well wishes and their messages of concern. If you watched last week's episode, you'll have kind of noticed that I took a bit of a hiatus. My health, my partner's health, and just life in general. Thankfully, I'm pretty much all healed after the surgery. And Scott is doing so much better, which is a huge relief because obviously with someone having chest pains, it's a little bit concerning. So, anyone heard that? That's my youngest cat. She's very clingy today. So yeah, if anyone's really experiencing chest pains, you know it can be very stressful, very anxious, and you just want them to get better as soon as possible. So thankfully he's feeling much better. Chest pains haven't fully gone away yet, but they are considerably better from what it was. I've just realised you're probably going to hear the wind. My window is open just ever so slightly, and the weather here in the west coast of Scotland is turning horrifically. All I can see, one wee patch of blue cloud, one tiny little patch, everything else is grey skies, and you can see the rain coming towards you. So yeah, thank you so much for all your well wishes and generally just the positive feedback after last week's mini rant. I say last week, it's like 3 weeks ago. So not to put a poor dampener on the situation and the whole podcast and stuff like that, but I like to get the whole what's going on in my world out of the way quicker rather than later. So I'm all healed after the surgery, thankfully. I'm still taking it a bit easy, but now I am awaiting an MRI appointment for my back, which is, putting it in a non-suedy way, totally buggered. And they don't know what's causing it. They don't know if it's mechanical. If it's mechanical, they can help me, like with physio, exercises, stuff like that. But they have a fear that this is actually, I'm sorry, you need to see this. This is Eli. Let me just see. You can't, yeah. That's a t-shirt in case anyone was wondering. So yeah, I'm waiting on an MRI appointment from the doctor regarding my back. If it's mechanical, they can help me. If it is anything related to my Crohn's, I am in the best way possible screwed because it will be arthritis, and I have been in nothing but absolute agony. The only way I'm pain free is with very strong painkillers, a whole bunch of heat pads, and that's just using like medical things. The only other way I can be pain free is with wearing a corset very, very tightly. So not exactly what I want. I'm 27, I shouldn't need to wear back support 24/7 to be able to walk for one, sit down, bend forward, pick something off the floor, generally move. So we're really hoping that the MRI will point us in the right direction to what's going on. So, on to all things, alright, I'm getting comfy. On to all things knitting, spinning and crochet related. I am going to be doing some spinning. I've been in talks with Charlotte of Charlotte Knits, and I'm going to be spinning her up some rose fibre, which is going to be really interesting to work with because this is actually a new fibre, and I've never worked with it. I don't know if anyone watching has. If you have, can you let me know what your experience with it was? For anyone that is a follower of Charlotte, she has changed the, I wouldn't say ingredients, but that's not the right word. She's changed what she is knitting with, and is using a lot more plant fibre based items, and it made me very curious as to what was out there. And I looked online and it was mostly fibre I was finding. I wasn't finding so much actual yarn, and then I seen this rose fibre and I was like, ooh, I want to spin with that, I want to see what it's like. So I'm going to be spinning up some rose fibre in the foreseeable future and gifting it to Charlotte as a wee, I don't know if it's so much a cheering up present or just gifting for the sake of gifting. So there will be some spinning in the near future. As of yet, because of my back, spinning is just too painful, and I have been purely focusing on all my knitting. Crochet is taking a bit of a back burner. Shoot, I dropped something. 2 seconds. Oh, I kicked a cat. I didn't mean to. She was under the seat. Silly cat. Eli. Yeah, she's not coming back. So yeah, my crochet is taking a wee bit of a back burner. I was working on it. I was making a wee doll for the first time, but oh, she's back. Come here, Eli. Eli. Never mind. I was making a wee doll, but people kept asking me to make them things, so crochet has taken a bit of a side seat at the moment, but it will not be a long-term thing, it's only temporary. So the first thing I am going to show is just a wee, it's not a mind-numbing project, but it's certainly something I can do around company and in situations where I really don't want to think. So I'm working on this hat. It looks really small, but I have tried it on and I just absolutely adore the colours. So it's called Galaxy Yarn. This will be the one time, yeah, I didn't put the ball band in, but I just, how can you not love those colours? Like, seriously. It is chunky, it's 100% acrylic, it's quite fuzzy, which I don't know, I think fuzzy yarn's not really my thing, so can't wait for that. I need hats for winter. I become a hat junkie, basically. I constantly need to have a hat on my head or be working on a hat. So I decided to whip that up for a side project because I was doing quite a bit of colour work and my double knitting, so I needed something where I just did not need to think. Cast on about 60 or 62 stitches, and it's literally 2x2 rib for, I think it was 3 inches, and then it's garter stitch from there on in. I will eventually start decreasing, but I really love my slouchy hats, so it's going to be a really big long slouchy hat, and it's just going to be perfect for winter. So that's currently on the needles. Pretty much everything I got is on the needles and it is a working project. The only finished item I had has been gifted to my friend Susie, and it was just another pair of the Hail Hydra mitts, which is this pattern here. These are the Hail Hydra mitts by Tara Melendez. Apologies if I have just butchered that surname. These are free on Ravelry and I totally recommend them. I am now on to my 3rd pair which brings us on to the second work in progress that I have going on, which is this. So for anyone that has looked into the Hail Hydra mints or seen the last pair I showed off, the cuff normally ends here. But I've been requested to make the cuff longer so that it goes further up the arm. So that's been an interesting project because I've obviously made 2 pairs of these already in the same yarn, and I'm going to be playing yarn chicken, so I've halved this what I had left of the skein. So this is 1/2, and it's really not that much yarn, but I've got a feeling I'm going to get away with it. I'm actually probably going to have leftovers, I hope. And so I'm working my butt off to get these done, and then I have another pair to make. So I think in total I'm going to be making a 5th pair because my partner really has hinted that he really likes them. So I'm going to make him a pair, but I'm not going to tell him. So shh, no one tell him. Oh, ow, sorry, my back hurts. So I'm working on these at the moment pretty frantically. Trying to get these completed. I've pretty much cast these on only about 2 days ago, so having had that much completed is actually impressing myself, never mind anyone else. So that's my main focus at the moment, but again, the hat is for when I'm in company that I feel that working on colour work where I have to concentrate and have to look constantly at charts would be rude to take to somewhere where there's company, so I take the hat. My other project, which I'm slowly working my way through, is of course my Star Wars hat. Star Wars hat? No, Star Wars scarf. And I am in love with this pattern. I love double knitting. I am totally sold on it. Anything where I'm working with more than one colour of yarn really seems to be capturing my heart at the moment. It's really got that spot where I was just like, oh my god, I need to make that. And I already have a whole bunch of colour work projects lined up that I want to complete. So this is the Star Wars scarf at the moment. So this is the, let me get this right, this is the, I had this like 2 seconds ago, my mind's gone completely blank. We'll start the other one then. So this is just a design up here, then this is a lightsaber, and this is the Rebel Alliance, that's the word I was looking for. The Rebel Alliance logo. So this is side 1, so it is white on orange, and then this is side 2, which is orange on white. So these were not meant to be the colours that I was going to use. I originally was going to use Chroma from Knit Picks, which is a fingering yarn, but between the white on here, which has alpaca in it, so it's very fuzzy, and the Chroma, which was also very fuzzy, it was too much fuzz and it was starting to kind of mat together, and I just really was not enjoying working with it. So I went down to my local yarn shop and I picked up some is it Jarwool Heritage 4-ply, which is rich wool. It is 55% wool, 25% acrylic and 20% nylon. My mouth is not working. So this is it in a ball. Where's the front label? There we go. So Jarwool Heritage 4-ply, and I showed off the other stuff, but here is, so it is Knit Picks Imagination in Bear, which is this label here, which is 50% merino wool, 25% superfine alpaca and 25% nylon, and it's really nice wool. It's so soft, it's really lovely to work with, but it's fuzzy. I just seem to have a thing against fuzzy wool at the moment, and normally it doesn't bother me, but it's just working with 2 fuzzy yarns together is just not really enjoyable. So originally I said this is a project I probably will not take out the house. I've now proven that wrong on a couple of occasions, but working one row, because it is double knitting and because the chart is, it's not complicated, there's no numbers, there's no nothing, it's literally just as it is. So it takes me a wee bit of time to work through just one row, so depending on where I'm going I may not take it with me, depending on the situation, who I'm with, how long I'm going to be there. It's just maybe not a feasible project to take outside. But it has now came out of the house on several occasions. It came to Scott's house one weekend, it's been to my work a few times for when I work on my knitting at lunchtime, albeit I only get about 2 rows done, but that's not really, doesn't really bother me how long it takes. I started this project for the sci-fi along for David and I's craft along, knit along, whatever you want to call it. I call it the sci-fi along. I started that for that craft along, and I know for a fact I'm not going to have it be... Oh, I need more caffeine. I'm not awake yet. I know for a fact that the Star Wars scarf will not be completed by the 30th of September, but that doesn't bother me, because it's going to be a long-standing project that I want to complete for myself, not for a knit-along. I have certainly made other objects for the knit-along and submitted those, albeit I think I've still to submit the scarves. Oh, fuzzy yarn is making me itch. Just another reason not to knit with fuzzy yarns. So yes, for those of you that are interested, there is still time. You can still enter for David and I's knit along. I say knit along, it's just easier to say that. It's a craft along, a sew along, a spin along, whatever you want to do craft wise, as long as you can relate it to sci-fi. I realise now that it is now open to fantasy. Someone has commented saying that if I will accept it, because David has, of course I'll accept it. I kind of see sci-fi and fantasy as the same thing, personally. That's just the way I feel. I certainly know I would class Lord of the Rings as fantasy, but I'd also class it as sci-fi. And I also class it as one of my favourite movies of all time. Well, favourite trilogy of all time. So please feel free to enter anything fantasy related, sci-fi related, anything at all. It could be Doctor Who, it could be Star Wars, it could be Hail Hydra, Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, whatever you want, enter it. That's all we ask, is you just enter and you do it for fun. There's going to be a few prizes from David, there's going to be a few prizes from me. I am being donated a prize very kindly by Leslie, and it is amazing. But I'm going to be putting in my own prizes. I'm not relying on other people to send me prizes at all. Leslie's just been very, very kind to donate something. Excuse me. So jump onto my forum, if that's what you want to call it, on Ravelry, and there are 2. I'm just looking at it. There's the sci-fi along finished objects, which is please and no chatter thread, just submit your pictures. And then there is the sci-fi Cal and Sal, so that's Cal for crochet and Cal for knitting. Chatter thread, so all chatter can go in there. There's the 2 threads, so one for the finished objects and one for all your chatter, to talk about what you want to make, what you think you're going to make but might not get the chance to, what you'd love to make but you're just not at that stage in your life to be able to make it, so on and so forth. So join there. Whatever you post in mine, could you please post in David's, because we're going to be looking at drawing winners together, and we will announce winners after the 30th. So moving on from that, I just want to show off one wee thing and get everyone's opinion on something, please. I've been working on something. I've had this idea in my head for months now, and I only really got the chance to work on it when I was off after the surgery, and it was very painful because it hurt my back more than anything. That's just the way I was sitting. So I've been making these. Oh, it's going to blow it out. Alright, let me find a different colour. So I've been working in these, which are clay, and it's made to look like knitting. So I'm thinking about making them as brooches and progress keepers. I originally was considering making them as stitch markers as well, but the smaller you make them, the not so nice they come out. So let's see. Yeah, there you go. So they're not so nice when they're smaller. So you've got the next size down from the bigger one I showed you, and it comes out pretty decent. So this would be the progress keeper, and this would be the brooch. So let me know what you think of those. I will glaze them so they've got a bit of a sheen to them, and it also just protects it a wee bit more. So let me know what you think, and I might put them on like my Etsy page or something and see what everyone thinks. Now I know last week I said I wasn't really one for showing off stash or one for being sent anything. One was gifted by my mum, so I really don't think that counts as being sent anything. And one was one I bought, and I bought it for two reasons. One, because it's absolutely gorgeous, and two, I believe in supporting indie dyers, and especially because he is my fellow Scottish podcaster. He is my podcasting family. So the first one I'm going to show off is one I bought from David, and that is this boy. And he's on Ravelry, he's on Instagram, he's on YouTube, and he is on, of course, on Etsy. So this is this lovely yarn I got, and it is called Shattered Prism, and as you can see there's just so much colour in this, and it sparkles and it's just so pretty. And I seen it and I was just like, I have to have it. I just had to buy it. I fully feel that if you can support an indie dyer, support them, do what you can, because if I was being an indie dyer, or if I was being an independent crafter in general and selling my stuff, I would really want people to support me that knew me and that used the objects that I'd made. So if I was dyeing wool, I'd hope people would buy my wool. So the minute I seen this one, I just love the colours. It's going to be really interesting to see how it knits up. My favourite colour is this bit in here. So this lovely green is just stunning. So I cannot wait. I don't have a project in mind for that, but it's going to be interesting. The other one I really want to show off because my mum bought me this and it's just so pretty. So because I've been going through quite a hard time with like my health and stuff, she decided to treat me to some Dye Ninja. And it's this stunning silver colour, like really stunning. They call this, I don't know if anyone else has heard of this, but they call it heavy silky lace. So it's not quite lace, but it's not quite foreplay. If anyone came across this, because it has me very intrigued. So it's heavy silky lace, you hand wash it separately. It's called Battle Hymn of the Republic. I get roughly 600 metres in a 100 gram skein, which is amazing. It's 55% blue face Leicester wool and 45% silk, so you can imagine just how soft this feels. It's going to have a really amazing drape, and I'm genuinely thinking shawl is the only way to show off how beautiful this is. So that's the card, and then the reverse of that is Dye Ninja. And so yeah, I bought the one from David as a wee cheer me up present, and then my mum bought me one as a wee cheer me up present as well, which was really nice of her. So I think that's about me covered everything, maybe. Oh, one last thing, and hopefully my battery does not die. I've been talking to Charlotte of Charlotte Knits about coming together and doing some charity knitting. And it's not so much for a charity themselves, it's actually going to be for the homeless. Living in the west coast of Scotland, I'm not saying we've got the worst homeless people the worst amount of homeless people, but you certainly notice it when you're walking around Glasgow, and it really affects me quite deeply, because I wish I could help them and I don't know how I can help them. It gets very cold in the west coast of Scotland at winter. Doesn't even have to be officially winter for it to get really cold here. Like, God, we don't even really get a summer, so we're thinking of coming together and making some hats, some scarves, some mittens, and distributing them to the homeless this coming winter. And if anyone would like to partake in that, that would be really amazing. I'm not saying you have to send them to us to distribute to the homeless just in Glasgow. I'm just asking, would anyone be interested in knitting hats, scarves, mittens, you name it, something to keep people warm, and then distributing to them, to the homeless in your own area. So let me know what anyone thinks of that, whether it's in a personal message to me on Ravelry or Instagram, or if someone wants to start a thread regarding this idea. You can let us know, but I will certainly be joining forces with Charlotte, and we're going to be making stuff, and we're going to then make up wee parcels and distribute them to the homeless within Glasgow. It's been something I've wanted to do for a number of years now, and just due to my poor health, my hands get particularly bad in winter with arthritis, and I know I can't knit as much in winter as I can in summer. Given the fact I just said we don't really get summer here, during the slightly warmer weather I can knit better. So if anyone would like to partake or is interested in doing it in their own area, please feel free to let us know. It'd be really good, I think, for all the knitters to get together and do something like this, because it's not always, you don't know their situation, you don't know how they became homeless. A lot of people don't ask for it, they don't want it, they would do anything to get out of that situation, and they just want a wee friendly helping hand. So if anyone is willing to be that friendly helping hand, to just provide them with a little bit of warmth and a little bit of care, by all means come and join us. On that note of caring and giving, I have restarted the mini skeins giveaway, and I have already drawn the winner for this month. And that is, let me get this right, Philippa Mac, or MC. So Philippa is the second entry, which really is the first comment, because it goes from my entry saying how to go about winning to the first comment from Philippa. So Philippa, if you could please send me a message, and I will get a parcel sent to you as soon as possible. If anyone would like to partake in the mini skeins giveaway, it's not a huge giveaway I do, it's out of my own pocket, it's minis left over from wool that I've worked with, and last time Jennifer won, and I'm pretty sure she can say that it was an okay present to receive. Took me a wee while to get it sent to her though, because just of work and life. So Philippa, send me a wee message, I'll try and get your parcel sent to you as soon as possible. If anyone would like to partake in joining the mini skeins giveaway, all you have to do is jump onto the LittleBee forum and say what you would do with a bunch of mini skeins if you were to receive them. So I don't know how long this podcast has been. I certainly can see from the screen on my camcorder that the battery is getting very low. My cup of tea is getting cold, and my knitting and Sherlock watching is calling to me, so I'm re-watching all of Sherlock. Because season 4 is on its way out, which is very exciting. So I'm going to leave you all to it. Have a wonderful knitting, spinning, crochet, crafting week, or a couple of weeks. I'm not sure when I'll next be podcasting. If anyone wants to come say hi, please drop me a wee message. I'll reply to it as soon as I can, or when I'm feeling up to it. I'm not the fastest to reply to people, and at the moment my painkillers are kind of knocking me for 6, so I might be a wee bit out of it. But I hope you all have a fabulous time. Share on the forum what you've been making, or tag me in posts on Instagram, and just come say hi. Talk to you all later. Bye.